Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Ryan Henning. There's my hand. Hey. Meteorologist Ryan Henning with a look at San Francisco's weather for this weekend and to the beginning of the work week. It's 70 degrees right now. It's partly cloudy. There's a few denser clouds out towards the coast in Hanford there. And further inland in Modesto, at Stockton, it's 86 and 85, mid 80s. It's a pretty typical blend of temperatures for the northern part of California, where it's cooler along the coast and much warmer once you get inland. And you can see by the wind barbs, wind is generally out of the west or northwest down in Hanford, and that's what's really bringing in the cooler weather right now. And then there's a line of mountains right through here, and then you get the valley. And that's why it's significantly warmer once you get inland, because the Pacific air is not finding its way in. So let's take a look at what that all looks like on satellite. You can see all the clouds, and they're kind of milkier, or they were around San Francisco Bay. They're moving northwest to southeast, so that's kind of what's been another thing that's been helping keep the temperatures down in the Bay Area. And there is a cold front up here, and then we've got a strong area of low pressure down in the southwestern, or off the southwestern United States on northwestern Mexican coast. Neither are going to pose a threat for precipitation for California, and truly neither will really significantly impact the weather. The thing that's most impactful about all that system is what they're doing to the ocean around it. There's actually a little bit of a storm surge with this system, and you've got the driving northwest winds that keep recycling as low pressure keeps recycling in the Gulf of Alaska. So you got the northwest winds, you've got southerly winds, and there's rip current warnings for Monterey Bay all the way up to the North Bay in the San Francisco area. But really, you can see the rest of the state. There's not a whole lot going on in terms of the weather, and it's too far west for really any of the monsoonal flow. So looking, essentially pretty good, except for in the mornings once you get that pooling low-level moisture into Silicon Valley to produce some morning fog and just gloomy mornings. Nothing truly that I'm worried about impacting the region, and I can prove it here looking at the model guidance. So here is our dying cold front that we saw off the coast. The precip only extends to about the Oregon border, but you did see some of those clouds extending off the northern California coast. Here's our big area low pressure. I believe that's a remnant tropical feature, but it's moving too far to the north to really organize into anything. But it is kind of helping to direct traffic through here, and then we've got our persistent area low pressure up in the Gulf of Alaska, which keeps organizing and will keep bringing showers and storms to the Washington coastline as well as British Columbia, but really nothing too significant to worry about in San Francisco. So is that going to help the temperatures at all? Well, unfortunately not. We can see they're going to hold pretty steady for just as long as we've got those west winds, and that's one thing. As low pressure up here breaks down and our system down here kind of moves to the north, the westerlies will dissipate around San Francisco, and then temperatures are going to shoot up on Wednesday. But Sunday, Monday, temperatures aren't really going to change a whole lot. There is a pretty dramatic spread of 4 or 5 degrees in forecast highs for between the NAM and the GFS. NAM is cooler, GFS is warmer. This isn't going to have anything to do with cloud cover or precip or anything like that. I think it's mostly going to be dictated by the winds, which should remain westerly until overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday. So I think for a high on Monday in particular, I'd probably be pretty content with using the model average, which is that white line that you can probably barely see, which would put the high at around 72 on Tuesday. Probably a little bit warmer, a little bit cooler, maybe about 70 on Monday, with overnight lows in the upper 50s to near 60. But again, no precip, but be careful if you're at the beach. It's that's where the danger is going to be. It's not really going to be a busy weather period in San Francisco, but it is one of those things where it's probably advisable to heed the weather forecast, because we can tell you about rip currents and whatnot as well. So that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a good weekend and enjoy your Saturday evening.